All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakodash. A double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere Shalom to Yakim bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. As you see here, this article is from Popular Science, and it reads, many rural areas could lose cell phone service. Now, this may not seem like, something significant to the average person reading it. But that's just because they don't ultimately understand the plans of Esau, man. E ultimately wants to take these same rural areas in which you have, conservative Edomites and basically corral them into a city setting where it's more easily controlled, because these same rural areas, they tend to have farms. These farms have crops, and these farms also have animals. Basically these people on these rural areas are able to have a so-called living much less on the grid, than the average American, which means in turn that they could put up a greater resistance. So it says such states as Tennessee, Kansas, and Oklahoma could be affected unless rip and replace funding is secured. And we know that Esau doesn't want that rip and replace funding actually to be secured. So he can, push them to the inner city, man. So it says rural and indigenous communities are at risk of losing cell service thanks to a 2019 law intended to strip U.S. telecom networks of Chinese-made equipment. Which we all know, a matter of fact, quick precept. This is coming from the book of Daniel. Matter of fact, no. It's coming from Corinthians. 1 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 2. So the 2 Corinthians 2 and 11 says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right? This is just another one of the wiles, one of the plans of Esau in order to, get the people to move the way that he wants them. Matter of fact, I'm going to grab this precept too. It's Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that's plain, man. Esau understands that his time is dwindling. He knows that the world and the structure in which he has, and he's not going to have this moment forever. Yahweh Shemel Shai tells us, matter of fact, in the book of Job, here we go. This Job 5 and 12, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Meaning what? He's not going to allow matter of fact, I'm also grab this precept. This also in the book of Job. This Job 14 and 5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Meaning what? He's confined unto the will of Yahweh Shemel Shai. So going back to Job 5, it says he disappointed the devices of the crafty, because ultimately Esau thinks he's going to rule forever. The system in which he's setting up right now, he believes that this is going to usher him into immortality, man. Right? It says, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, right? Esau is a crafty, devil. The scripture speaks about in the book of Ezekiel 28. How he's wiser than Daniel. He is wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that they can hide from thee. But ultimately, Yahweh Shemel Shai gave him that knowledge in order to rule, right? So to get back with the article, Salakia, it says, and while local companies were promised reimbursements as part of the RIP and replace program, many of them have so far seen little of the funding, if any at all. The federal push to block Chinese telephone and internet hardware has been years in the making, but gained substantial momentum during the Trump administration. In May 2019, an executive order barred American providers from purchasing telecom supplies manufactured by businesses with a foreign adversary nation. But it shows you that AE was doing it anyways. From that those, the telecom network equipment being established here. It says, industry and government officials have argued China might use products from companies like Hawaii, and ZTE to tap into U.S. telecom infrastructure. Chinese company representatives have repeatedly pushed back on these claims, and it remains unclear how substantiated these fears are. It says, as the Washington Post explained on Thursday, and that's the thing, them saying and establishing this in 2019, shows that Esau was just looking for something in order to uproot, the cell phone service within these rural areas, man. Because this is right after right after the demic, where he was putting up 5G towers and so forth and so on. Let's keep going. And on top of that, if China wanted to get information from telecommunications from the U.S., they don't need to do it so blatantly up front, They have satellites, they have planes, they have submarines. They can get that information without going through those telecommunication towers, man. It says, meanwhile, rip and replace program plans have remained in effect through Biden's administration, but little has been done to help smaller U.S. companies handle the intensive transition efforts. Explained, an estimated 40% of local network operators currently cannot replace their existing equipment without additional funding, about $1.9 billion. Another $3 billion is required to cover nationwide rip and replace costs. But that $1.9 billion, they're sending that off to Ukraine. They're sending that off to Israel. So that same funding in which Esau is looking for, or quote unquote looking for, he's spending the money somewhere else, giving it to foreign aid, quote unquote, man. Right? It says, at the time, the FCC promised small businesses 39.5% reimbursements for their overhauls. Receiving that money subsequently triggered a completion deadline, but that remaining 61.5% of funding has yet to materialize for most providers. So this just goes to show you, that E is all for, destroying the amendments that was set for this country in order to bring forth, draconian law. Because that's ultimately what it's doing, man, And he's saying, oh, yeah, we want to do this because of China spying. But really it's just to get you people, easier in a spot that's easier to control, man. It's harder to control a population that's, spread out throughout land. It's much easier to put you in a corner to what's the word? To basically spy on you. To manage. That's a better word right there, to manage. So we see what's happening. We're not ignorant of this. And we're going to see what this rip and replace program continues to do. Because at the moment, $1.9 billion it's not about to happen, So that's going to cause the people that are in these states to come closer to cities, which ultimately is going to be easier for Esau to administer his draconian law upon them. So I just want to bring this lesson to the body to show forth what's going on. Lord willing, it's edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakwadash, and double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere shalom to Yaki, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.